Lovely night for baseball once again at Comerica Park. After Dayside yesterday, the Tigers beat the Sox. This is game number 2 of this series on NBC Sports Chicago, home of the authentic fan. And we thank you once again for joining us. Jason Benetti, Steve Stone along with you. When you look at the Sox offense recently, one of the guys at the top of the leaderboard batting average-wise is Adam Engel.
We've seen Adam all year catching everything in sight. He's had a great year defensively. Now he's starting to swing the bat with 9 for his last 20 over the last 6 games, doing just about everything and continuing the great defense. He starts back on one but has makeup speed, comes and gets it, takes it off the grass and puts it away. Engel's just been wonderful. Going back, coming forward, going side to side, it really doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter where he's hitting the baseball. He seems to have found some gaps. A couple of doubles yesterday, and things continue to roll right along for him. So he's showing that he can really play, and he wants to be a factor for next year.
Yeah, the opponent for Adam Engel today is a guy just off the disabled list. He had an oblique injury. It's Michael Fulmer.
Fulmer's one of their best pitchers, although this year hasn't been a good year for him. He's got terrific stuff. He came over from the Mets. He was a guy that was instrumental in a trade for Yoenis Cespedes, and he throws the ball pretty well, as we saw back on April 7th. 5 1/3 innings, didn't give up any runs. This is a guy that knows how to pitch. He moves the ball in and out, up and down, and against our Sox lifetime, 2-1, the ERA at 3.79. Ronaldo Lopez on the other side of the equation has thrown okay against the Tigers. He's had some control issues recently. Hopefully he keeps the ball down and can throw some strikes today, because when he's right, he's very good.
Lopez and Fulmer cross swords, game number 2 of this 4-game series here in Detroit. Players Weekend. It was all Tigers yesterday. Sox are trying to level it after this.
By Toyota. Tested, trusted. Toyota. Toyota. Let's go places. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. By Lexus, who encourages you to experience amazing. And by Miller Lite, the original light beer. Miller Lite. Hold true.
This carousel is not representative of the White Sox manager's situation anymore because Joe McEwing, after 4 straight games in the lead chair, has been joined in the dugout by Ricky Renteria, who is back after spending a couple nights in Minneapolis due to lightheadedness. And look at the smile on that man's face after being away from the game he loves for a couple of days. He is back in the dugout and all fired up.
Well, it's great to see him back, and it's great to see him healthy because he wouldn't be back here if he wasn't entirely healthy. So that is a great sign, and everybody very happy to see Ricky back.
And with that, here is the White Sox lineup written out by Joe McEwing and commanded by Ricky Renteria today. It's brought to you by the Webb Auto Group. For the best lineup of Chevys, Fords, Mitsubishis, Genesis, and Hyundais, the best price. Go to webcars.com. Sanchez and Moncada, then Garcia in the 3 spot for the 4th time this year. And for Abreu, Palka, Anderson, Delmonico, Davidson, Narvaez, and Engel.
And the defensive setup for the Tigers presented by UI Health. And this is how Ron Gardner is going to put them out there this evening with Matuk, Reyes, and Castellanos left to right in the outfield. Candelario, Iglesias, Goodrum, and Adduci in the infield with James McCann getting the nod behind the plate. And our Lexus Experience amazing starting pitcher is Michael Fulmer. Fresh off the disabled list, on for his 20th start. He's just 3-9 with an ERA of 4.5. There you look at the rest of the numbers. He's got good control normally. Left-handers don't hit him very well. He has allowed 14 home runs this year. Opponents hitting .258, which is a little bit higher than Fulmer would like. Umpires for the game tonight. Adam Hammery has the plate. Ryan Blakeney is at first. Hunter Wendelstedt at second, and Phil Cuzzy is at third. He is the crew chief. So we're ready to play baseball, and I'm ready to turn it over to my spunky play-by-play man, Jason Benetti.
Steve, thank you so much. We are ready to go. Game number 2 of this series. Good to see Ricky Renteria back as Fulmer faces Sanchez, and Yolmer swings at the first pitch to deposit it foul. And we are underway from Comerica Park, dating back to the year 2000. Sox as a team are hitting .243. That's 22nd in baseball. The slugging percentage is better at 17th in the majors, .410. The team slugging percentage.
The only caveat tonight for Fulmer is he's probably going to go 70 to 75 pitches. That's going to be it. So when he gets in the 60s, you'll see the bullpen up and going.
Last time the Tigers won a start made by Michael Fulmer, the plumber for Players Weekend, was June the 14th against the Twins. That was the last team win for Fulmer. In fact, the last 2 team wins in a Fulmer start were against Minnesota, and the last time the Tigers won against somebody other than Minnesota with Fulmer on the mound was on May the 2nd against Tampa Bay. To second base, Nico Goodrum getting the start today after a day off yesterday, and 1 gone in this first inning.
At the time, Dave Dombrowski was the general manager for this Tiger team, and Sandy Alderson came to him. They wanted Yoenis Cespedes. That was the deal they wanted to make in 2015 at the trade deadline. And Dombrowski held out. It was before Ron Gardner got here. Dombrowski held out and said the deal will not be made without Michael Fulmer. Alderson did not want to give him up. At the very end, he did. And Cespedes went to the Mets.
And continues to be in and out of the lineup, whether they like it or not.
He's been injured quite a bit. And Fulmer last year at 10-12, the year before 11-7.
Third base side, Candelario for round number 2. Here's what Michael Fulmer will throw, mostly fastball.
You can see the sinker and the 4-seam, they're both fastballs. They just move a little differently. The slider and the changeup at 40% of the repertoire. Slider's a good one.
So the reason he's called the plumber is during the offseason, you know, back in the day, you used to have an off-season job because you needed the money.
Exactly right.
Well, nowadays, for baseball players, you only really have an off-season job if you like it. if it's a craft that you enjoy, because there's no need to make money necessarily in the offseason considering the salaries, and that's what Michael Fulmer has done. Previously in the offseason, he has been a plumber, crawling around attics and unclogging drains and things like that. So why not do it if you love it?
If he's good, maybe he'll move to Scottsdale.
You need a plumber?
Well, you can always use a good plumber. Oh, are you kidding?
I got a guy, you'll say.
Especially one with a slider that good.
He was a rookie of the year. I got a guy. He'll take care of your clog. 0-2. That's outside. Slider comes in at 89. His average slider is 86, and that's a little bit of the fear sometimes when you're off the DL, is that you're going to try and throw it a little harder than normal.
It's just command. That's what everybody is worried about right now. And will he have command of it? Well, those last two pitches he didn't. Originally a first-round draft pick of the Mets. That was back in 2011, the 44th choice overall. So he was highly thought of from the beginning.
And when people look at your .450 ERA and say this is your worst season in Major League Baseball, you've had a fine career up until this point.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, 2016, it was .306. That's good. You see overall .372. That's pretty good. .383 last year, and he was under .500. Well, you can tell he's really strong because he usually does not throw 98. That was the last fastball at 98. So he hasn't been out there in a while. The arm is incredibly strong. The only thing you lose when you add a few miles an hour is you lose some of that late movement.
2-2. That's called strike three off the plate. 1-2-3 inning for Michael Fulmer. Avi disagrees. Bottom one, no score. Lario at the top, then Iglesias and Castellanos. Martinez back in, so is Goodrum in the 6th spot. McCann had the day off yesterday as well.
The defensive setup for our Sox, presented by UI Health, and this is how Joe McEwing and Ricky Renteria put them out there tonight, with Daniel, Adam, and Abaseo left to right. And it's Yolmer, Tim, Yohan, and Nicky in the infield. Omar Narvaez gets a nod behind the plate, and our Lexus Experience amazing starting pitcher is Ronaldo Lopez. On for his 26th start. He's 4.9, his ERA at 4.72. There you look at the rest of the numbers.
When you talk about a growing season and a young pitcher, this is exhibit A of what can happen in a growth-based season. Ronaldo Lopez has been all over the map in terms of results this year. The very best, some very short starts as well.
He's had some games where he was absolutely dominant with all of his pitches, and then other times when he's fallen behind, and that has caused him some difficulty.
Last time out, 2 innings against Kansas City, 6 hits, 6 earned runs, 3 homers, a walk, and 5 strikeouts.
That was not one of his better efforts.
2 starts before that against the Yankees. 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts.
That was one of his better outings. The Yankees far superior offensive team, but Lopez just had terrific stuff.
Down the chute, 3-1 on Candelario, who's hit in 6 straight for the Tigers, but is just 1 for 11 against Ray. Outside ball 4. It's a leadoff walk for Candelario. What Lopez will throw is mainly fastball. That's what we've seen throughout the course of the year. Over 60% four-seam fastball for Lopez. 19 homers allowed on the four-seamer. That's the most in Major League Baseball.
Well, if you're going to throw a whole lot of fastballs, you're going to give up home runs, especially if you are around the plate most of the time. And Ronaldo normally is that.
Jose Iglesias. Called strike. He struck out yesterday, his first strikeout in the last 6 games for Iglesias. One of the most difficult players in the big leagues to strike out. There's a slider, 1 ball, 1 strike.
He strikes out just under once every 10 at bats. That is very strong.
How strong, you ask? 4th in the majors. Strong. Victor Martinez, his teammate, is 3rd. Tigers as a group, in part because of Iglesias and Martinez, are very good at not striking out. They're top 10 in baseball in fewest strikeouts by an offensive team. Lopez, very conveniently, you see Ray on the back of his jersey. If your name is Raymond, you shorten it to Ray, R-A-Y. Here, you end up being the King, Spanish for king. So Lopez today is officially King of the Hill. Two and two. To first and past Delmonico down the line. Candelario trucking for 3rd. He is there. What could have been 2 ends up as none, and the Tigers are in business here in the 1st.
Well, that's what happens if you make some contact. That was pretty hard contact and was one hopper by Nicky. Inside out swing. He hits this ball awfully hard, and Nicky can't make the play. Would have been a relatively easy 2 if he did, but he comes up too quickly. The ball scoots under the glove, and runners at the corners on the base hit.
So the Sox playing without Jose Abreu. Davidson and Delmonico have tandem first base since Jose went down. Now Castellanos, who has 22 hits this year against the Sox.
It's been a remarkable run for him, and a lot of them are pitches that are thigh high and below. Hit a home run yesterday on a pitch that was below the knees and took it out of the ballpark. Because of that uppercut swing, he's only grounded into 6 double plays this year.
When the Sox have pitched him down over the past 4 seasons, the Sox have gotten hurt, as you said. Slugging percentage against the Sox since 2015. If you go up and in or up and out, you're in your best shape, at least against the Sox specifically.
But nothing down. You look at that strip across the bottom and you see that he tortures the baseball.
Yeah, down and in especially is not a good plan. Up the middle, second base. Moncada taps the bag, thought about coming home, and doesn't. He'll take the double play and concede the run. Candelario scores. 1-0 Tigers, but 2 outs on the board.
Ball was hit hard, but fortunately, Moncada was right there to make the play. He was thinking about coming home, then decided why open it up for a big inning when you can get 2. Figure out you got to score 1 anyway to win this one. And a long way to go.
Discretion the better part of valor that time.
Take the 2 outs and you'll get 1 back somewhere along the line.
1 in 2 out, Victor Martinez, the 39-year-old, takes ball 1. So Lopez 3 first pitch balls, 1 first pitch strike through 4 batters. Victor started to hit the ball better. He had the day off yesterday, but his batting average is up nearly 20 points the last 3 weeks.
Some very happy fans have a souvenir for their efforts tonight. And there it is.
Have you ever seen a happier group to have a foul ball?
No, they were ecstatic.
Yeah. Left side this time. 2-2 on Martinez. Maybe this is a happier group. Rate the happy group. I think the first group was happier.
They were much happier, yes.
Two and two. Always good to check in with happiness czar Steve Stone.
You can never be too happy, especially the last 24 games for Victor Martinez. He is ecstatic. 345, he's deliriously happy.
He looks it.
He does.
Yeah. 3-2. There's grounded foul. Tigers have been an annoyance this year at 10-3 against the Sox. 6-0 for the Tigers at Guaranteed Rate Field. Couple of sweeps for Ron Gardenhire, who now has a gnome in his likeness that they gave out earlier this year. A Gardy gnome. Oh, he snapped it in for strike 3 and froze Martinez with the hook. Nifty by Reynaldo. Tigers do get 1. And we'd like to welcome all our viewers watching on, say it with me now, Central Scott Telephone's CSTV service in Elridge, Iowa.
Hello, folks.
Central Scott Telephone's CSTV service.
It's a strong service.
Is there a Northern Scott's telephone? Center field, Reyes diving, can't make the play. That hit the ground, I think. It did. And Daniel running it out is into second base. That's why you hustle out of the box and take it all the way as far as you can.
And that hustle paid dividends as Reyes trying to convince Hunter Wendelstedt that it was indeed a catch. Let's take a look. We'll slow it down for you as Reyes comes over. Okay, so that's in the glove. And that's not. So it was in the glove, then it wasn't, which means it's not. Nice effort, but the ground can cause a fumble. And Polka decides that he's going to keep on running, and why not?
There's ball number 1 to Tim Anderson as Polka picks up his 13th double, just his second in the last month. He's been too homer happy for those doubles.
Yeah, when he hits them hard enough, they don't rattle around for two. They go out of the park.
He doesn't have time for that half a home run stuff. You see Tim Anderson's bat, by the way. It has in pink there his daughter Peyton's name on it. Here on Players Weekend, you can make a choice and have some custom bats done. So Tim decided that he wanted to have his daughter's name on his bat. Candelario at third throws him out. The thing about it is, though, Tim for a while before the game was mulling over not using the bat because he said if he had a bad game, take care of that, by the way, bat boy. If he had a bad game, he didn't want to blame his daughter or even have the option of blaming Peyton.
Yeah, it probably is not her fault that he didn't hit the ball to the right side, however, that he was just looking to pull it early in the count.
But you know how superstitions are.
I do. Players are very superstitious, but that's going to be a quality bat for as long as the at-bat lasts.
Nicky swings and misses at a changeup. Tim took it into the cage, tried it out a little bit, said it felt good, so he decided that he was going to put it in play in game 2 of this series. Game 2 of Players Weekend. Polka at second. He's the tying run after the Tigers got one in the bottom of the first. One and two on Nicky Delmonico. It was 2 for 3 career against Fulmer.
The velocity today for Fulmer is just a little bit stronger than we've seen, and that's all that time on the DL and all that strength that he is trying to burn off here.
In that start back in April against the Sox, Fulmer threw 53 fastballs, whether 4-seamers or 2-seamers, and the maximum velocity for any of them was 96.2.
And we've already seen 98, so he's got a little bit more heat this particular evening. However, he is already up to 22 pitches with a limit anywhere from 70 to 75.
And the dirt, 2 balls and 2 strikes. When he has the 4-seamer working well, he is very tough to hit. Starting pitchers in Major League Baseball, that's your top 5 lowest batting average against the 4-seam fastball.
Clay Buchholz making a comeback year out of his stint with the Diamondbacks, and Cole and Buehler.
.97 on that fastball, 3-2.
Matt Davidson in the on-deck circle waiting for his opportunity.
Second base, Goodrum on the outfield grass, throws him out. Palka to third, 2 gone. As we tell you what else you're going to see during this telecast of White Sox Tigers baseball. Eloy Jimenez continues to hit the ball well. Ronald Acuna travels to Miami once again. It looks like he's going to be the Chipper Jones to the Mets, equivalent to the Marlins for his career. And one of those typical 5-7-3 groundouts against the Tigers in White Sox history. Matt Davidson's cleats on Players Weekend. That is not his art. That's Brixton and Wake, his 2 kids. He said, hey, I'm wearing these this weekend. You guys draw. And so they did.
Seems to have worked out pretty well.
There's little Wakey and his surrogate dad, Yolmer Sanchez. Little Wake is a future motocross expert. Loves the bikes. In the air, left field. Mikey Matuk on the run toward the line, makes the catch and saves a run for the Tigers. Matuk tracks it down and leaves Davidson wanting.
Only available at your local Wintrust Community Bank. Go to wintrust.com/Sox to learn more. Wintrust Community Bank, member FDIC.
Of course they are. They do a great job over at Wintrust.
Great.
Our pals from the outfield signage.
Unbelievably good job.
Thank you. Here's a doozy. Then Goodrum and Matuk to face Reynaldo Lopez, who gave up a run in the first on a walk and a hit, and a double play and a strikeout.
Ducey hit the ball pretty well yesterday. Had a couple of hits and a line out in his 4 at-bats.
Took him 889 minor league games to finally make his debut 5 years ago.
Study in persistence. That's the goal. The goal when you sign a professional contract is make it to the major leagues. When you make it to the major leagues, then the goal is to stay there. And he's been up and down a couple of different times, but all things considered, he's done a nice job with what he's got.
He's got some firewood as he flares this ball to the right side, and Moncada ranges out to make the catch. Head to the ballpark for Dollar Hot Dog Wednesdays. Take advantage of this unbeatable deal Wednesday, September 5th. Sox and the Tigers, 7:10 p.m. Brought to you by Securian Financial, who can help you make every moment count. Find out more at Securian.com.
Looks like there's a couple of sausage thrown in there also.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Got certainly some kielbasa. Yeah, got some of that. Got some Italian sausage there, it appears.
The wind must have changed overnight because there's no aroma of any food right now here in Comerica Park.
It was really funny because on the way home I was smelling that cinnamon you were talking about, but I couldn't at the ballpark. I had no idea how that followed you all the way back to Birmingham, but it seemed to.
It tailed you to the hotel?
Yeah, it did, and then kind of went away.
Interesting. Hard hit. Oh, Tim got it for out number 2. What a play by Tim Anderson on the outfield grass, flashing that improved defense once again.
It was the positioning that helped. He's up the middle. This ball is hit awfully hard. One hop rocket. He stays right with it. He's delivering the ball much more quickly these days. He's very accurate with it. So you can really see the results of the hard work that Tim has put in defensively this year, because he is markedly better right now than he's been all year long. I mean, you can see it on a daily basis. And so when they talk about young players getting better and everybody is wondering when it will be, well, if you watch the progression of Tim Anderson this year, you can just see it before your very eyes, getting better and better, especially with the defense. We knew he was going to hit, but defensively, he's been really good.
Yes, he has. Was talking to Joe McEwing before the game in the dugout, the Sox interim manager for the last 4 games before Ricky Renteria's return tonight. But the first guy Joe mentioned in terms of positive sign from this year was Tim Anderson, specifically the defense. That was top of his mind. And Joe would know he's the one that works with him on the infield work every day.
Sure, and breaking down his game, the weakest part of the defensive aspect of his game was the backhand. He had some trouble making the backhand consistently, and then the transfer and the throw. So he worked tirelessly at it. And now when he goes to make a backhand, it's not that feeling that you had before. Well, he'll make some, he won't make some. He'll make some and catch it, but he won't be able to get the throw off. Now he does everything really well with it, and he's improved 100%. To the backhand especially. The rest of his game has improved, but he had a long way to go on the backhand, and now he's there.
Both components of it, the fielding the ball and then the accurate throw. 2-2 for Matuk, and he takes strike 3. Everything low in the zone. Lopez peppers Matuk in a 1-2-3 inning because of all number 7. Hot shot. Tim was there, and a beaut. Sox legend. Hawk, the documentary on Hawk Harrelson, coming up. One of the most colorful and influential personalities in baseball, Thursday, September 13th at 7, only on NBC Sports Chicago. The life and times of Hawk Harrelson on the way, as Hawk Day is not far away either, the first week of September. Omar Narvaez, first pitch hunting. Fouls it away. Asked Omar before the game if he was going to have any colorful spikes to wear on his feet. And he said, well, I'm not a superstar yet, so they don't send me like 7 pairs like some of the guys. But truthfully, if you look at the numbers for Omar Narvaez in the past month and a half, he has been a strong contender for one of the best hitting catchers in the American League.
Well, the last month and a half, he's been one of the 2 top hitting catchers in all of baseball. And, you know, it's worked out very well for him. He's spent a lot of time offensively also, and he has very difficult at bats for the opposing pitcher. I mean, he's going to foul the ball off. He's going to take you more times than not to 3-2. And he's not going to swing at bad pitches. You got to throw it in the zone for him to swing at it. So things are moving along very well for Omar.
Two and 2 on him. That's inside, and the requisite Omar Narvaez full count comes early.
And there we are at 3-2. Pretty much what he does most all the time.
You'll see a 7th pitch in the sequence. Payoff coming. That stayed up. Omar to second base. Goodrum with a nifty play for round number 1. Flash sale alert. Join us for the upcoming Boston and Detroit series August 30th through September 5th. A lower box ticket for just $30 and have your first snack or drink on us with $15 to spend in the park. Upper level tickets are also available. Visit whitesox.com/flash sale for your tickets today. The Red Sox at 90-39 will be in town next week.
Red Sox have been awfully good, and the only question for them is, will Chris Sale be healthy enough to come off the disabled list, where he is spending his 2nd stint this season?
Twice a shoulder issue. So Adam Engel, you look at the last 11 games, 4 multi-hit in the last 6, 6 multi-hit in the last 11. Fulmer blows him away at 96, 3-pitch strikeout and 2 out in the 3rd.
He pretty much stayed up in the zone, and that's where a lot of guys are trying to pitch at him. But the last couple of weeks, Adam has been red hot. With that last at bat, the exception.
Two out. Sanchez takes a grenade.
Gilmer hit it awfully hard the first time up, but hit it right at Goodrum at second base. That was actually the hardest hit of any at bat the first time through the order.
Polka's double, the only hit for the Sox, was a flare to center field that he ran out. Reyes couldn't make the catch, and Daniel turned it into 2 bases. Well, Fulmer looks pretty good.
If there's any question if he's healthy now, he's healthy.
Yeah.
Question is, can he stay healthy after that long stint on the DL? We've had so many oblique problems in baseball this year. It's been just one after another, mostly with hitters because of the torque they have to produce, but occasionally, like Fulmer, occasionally a pitcher will fall victim.
Last 10 years or so, the oblique injury has become en vogue. Not that you want an en vogue injury, but that's the one that's cropped up. 3-2. sheared foul, late swing, and he got a piece to stay alive.
Well, he knew that one was in the zone, and so that was a emergency hack, and he was able to keep the at bat alive.
To left field, Mikey Matuk was playing toward the chalk, and it was perfect for him. A 1-2-3 third for Fulmer. 1-0. Guaranteed rate, and Eloy Jimenez 4 for 5 last night at Norfolk's Harbor Park. 10 for his last 16 coming into today. And Jimenez with AAA Charlotte, a .360 batting average, 11 home runs, 11 doubles, and OPS that has 4 digits in it.
29 driven in 46 games. AAA pitching, not a mystery to Eloy Jimenez. And Ricky Renteria back, and that's a good sight, pouring over the lineup cards. Feeling good enough to be at the ballpark. You know, he missed it desperately, and the fact that he's healthy and able to return is a great thing because everybody here missed him. He is a really well-liked guy in this entire organization.
And rightfully so. I mean, I've never seen him say to somebody, I don't have time for blank, whatever it is. Whatever it is, he takes the moment and can sometimes fill his schedule with those things, but he is always looking to learn about the other person. Ricky Renteria showing up in the dugout. Our Crickets smile tonight, and it's quite the smile from the skipper of the Sox. You don't even know. If you don't know Ricky Renteria, you don't know how hard it was for him to sit in the hospital or sit at home and watch these games.
No games that he knew he was supposed to be here managing, because he started the journey with this ball club. He wants to be there when this journey is starting to wrap up and things get really good. He is going to be here when things get really good, and that's going to be in the not too distant future, and Ricky's going to have a huge part in it. Ricky and his coaching staff are in the process, and it's a process, in the process of teaching these guys how they want them to play on a daily basis to build from when they were a rebuilding team to one that is a good team. And they're in the process of doing that now.
And what an insurance policy you have in Joe McEwing on the bench, a guy who is going to be a future manager in the big leagues somewhere, has interviewed for managerial openings in the past, and highly thought of around this game. Somebody who, when he takes the reins, you know that you have a prospective skipper there.
And your manager, your bench coach have got to work well together.
That was a blazing fastball at 98 upstairs to get the swing and miss for Lopez.
You can stay ahead of hitters, then you can go upstairs and throw it by him. But in order to make that pitch effective, you've got to be ahead. And if you need any more proof, look, this guy's got magnificent stuff, and yet the on base percentage for right-handers is a little too much more than Lopez would want. His on base percentage against right-hand hitters is .344.
Yeah.
That is not good. Not good to the tune of, that's fourth worst among starting pitchers. The league average is .299, and the reason is simple.
This one blooped over third into left field. Could be a double. Reyes can run, and he will hoof it into second base. A 1-out, 2-base hit.
He doesn't get a whole lot of that, but gets enough of it to just dump it into left field and then run it into a double. We'll watch it again. He goes down, gets it, inside out swing, and then locates where it is, and he can fly. But we talked about the on base percentage for the right-handers. That's because of the inconsistency of that slider. We talked about the fact that as he moves along, he's going to strike out a lot more hitters, and that's when both the straight change, but especially that slider, get consistent. When that happens, his fastball is good enough to strike out a whole lot of hitters. But when that is your primary pitch that you can consistently get over the plate, major league hitters will make contact on it.
On that contact by Reyes, it was 58 miles an hour off the bat. Not exactly an exit velocity trophy winner.
No, but in a perfect spot.
In case you were wondering, last year the league batting average on balls hit 58 miles an hour was 107. You get a hit about every 10 times you hit a ball that hard, and that was the one. That one zipped in there for a strike. Don Cooper, Sox pitching coach, has had a lot of young arms to mold this year. I mean, you look at this rotation, and outside of James Shields, Carlos Rodon is the old guy moving forward, which is ridiculous. He's 25.
Hence the rebuilding plan in full swing. And I don't see the starting rotation getting a whole lot older getting in the next season. If anything, it gets a little younger.
Sox today shut down Dylan Cease, who's in Double-A Birmingham. Cease, something like 125 innings this year. The decision was he's not hurt. He had already reached a certain innings number that the Sox wanted to shut him down at, so he's done for the year after a very nice season.
Look, from the minor league season standpoint, you have less than a couple weeks to go, so shutting him down for the year is not that big a thing, but you want to make sure that at his age, and he is very young, 21 years old, you want to make sure he doesn't extend himself and get himself hurt. The stuff is too good, his future too bright to do anything that would jeopardize that bright future.
That's ball 4 on the slider. Candelario's walked twice now. And with 2 on, your 2018 Chicago White Sox are presented by Guaranteed Rate, your trusted teammate throughout the mortgage process. Experience the difference today at rate.com. Lovely night for baseball. Beautiful watercolor sky at Comerica Park. He's Steve Stone. I'm Jason Benetti. Our entire crew in downtown Detroit. See Jose Iglesias with Candelito on the back of his jersey. This after Jeimer Candelario bats first. So Iglesias's father is named Candelita is named Candelario himself. So Jose's father is Candelario Iglesias, and he's batting after Jeimer Candelario in a very interesting instance in Detroit, where the father of the second hitter has the first name of the first hitter's last name. We'll draw you a picture.
A picture in a picture.
Mm-hmm. Oh, 1. On the ground, Anderson has to go pretty far over there to make the play, and no chance at 2 with the rangy effort by Tim. Reyes to third, Candelario out, Candelita to first.
And the boys in the middle made a valiant attempt to turn 2, but Iglesias about a step too quick. This ball isn't hit all that hard, and Tim gets rid of it. They cannot turn 2.
Nice quick release by Moncada.
Just a little hesitation on the part of Tim Anderson, but it's doubtful if you get 2 on that.
Castellanos no RBI for that double play ground ball. So first and third, 2 out.
It's an interesting barrel of the bat.
Like a paint can exploded.
It did that. An even 50 for Ronaldo.
On 1-0. Check swing, and that is quite the mural on the bat for Castellanos. Very patriotic. High fastball for Lopez has been lethal tonight.
That one up out of the zone that Castellanos couldn't lay off. Should have been ball 3, instead the count's 2-1. Against our Sox this year, he's been a killer. 393, 5-17 on the power numbers.
Fouled away right side, 2-2 on Castellanos, who hasn't struck out in his last 4 games. So it would be nice to change that right now.
Well, especially with 120 of them this year. So it's not that he's a stranger to the strikeout. It's just that he's shortening his swing a touch and making more contact.
He's decided to give it up for late Lent. 2-2. See what Omar calls. Throw to first. Reyes at third with a 1-out double. Iglesias at first after the fielder's choice. 2-2. That was down, and he beat him. Castellanos drives in the run. Iglesias is into third, and it's 2-0 Tigers. Omar wanted it up.
Yeah,
Ronaldo missed.
Nick Castellanos at this point is just swinging the bat too well to keep it down at all, because when you do, he's going to burn you. Drives in his 72nd run of the year on a low fastball. He just loves the ball there, and it's Not necessarily guaranteed a base hit, but he's going to hit it hard someplace.
But if you're looking and you're saying, well, why do you pitch him there? That wasn't the intent.
No, and it's, I mean, James Shields did it the same way in yesterday's ball game. He wanted to throw it up, didn't get it there, got it down, turned into a home run. It's not like he wanted to do that, just made a mistake, and that happens.
Now Victor Martinez. Tigers with 3 hits in the game, 2 runs. Outside of fastball, 1-0. Lopez has had Victor's number at 2 for 10 when they've gotten together early in Lopez's career, but when Victor's gotten a hit, it's been a big one. He's doubled twice and driven in 4. It's obviously a different lineup when he's not paired with Miguel Cabrera, their most complete hitter coming into the season, certainly.
Losing him was just a terrible blow to the Tigers because it took a good deal of their offense, took it out of the lineup, and made things a whole lot more difficult for Ron Gardner when he writes it out.
Second base, Moncada off the flat roll, has time and throws Martinez out. However, the Tigers do get a run on 2 hits, and it's 2-0 Detroit after 3. With the lead over the Sox, it's Moncada, Garcia, and Palka coming up in this 4th inning for the Sox. Michael Fulmer, 2 strikeouts, 1 hit allowed, just 1 base runner. Sox have yet to walk in this game. As Yoan takes a ball, he has Yo-Yo on his Players Weekend jersey. Jose Rondon has Goyo on the back of his jersey, and I asked Moncada if he was okay with this. I said, shouldn't you be the only one that gets to play on the Yo thing? And he says, yeah, I don't know why he does it, but I guess I'm okay with it. So Yo-Yo and Goyo will live in harmony, at least for now. The reason for Goyo is it is a shortened version of his full name. Jose Gregorio Rondon. So the go is for Gregorio, and then the yo is a rhymer. In case you were wondering.
I was. Inquiring minds want to know.
Of course they do. It's Players Weekend.
That's exactly right.
There's Jose Rondon, who helped continue the Sox streak of games with a home run. That was yesterday. 2-run shot in the 8th inning. 15 straight games with a home run for the Sox, the longest streak for the team in 6 years. As Moncada takes ball 4. And now time for your Sox math question for tonight. Hashtag Sox math on Twitter. First correct answer wins a prize from the road. Number of straight games in which the Sox have homered entering tonight. There, you got a clue. Congratulations. Plus the number of the first player who homered yesterday. There, you got another clue. Divided by the number of homers the Sox hit yesterday. You probably got another clue. Minus Michael Kopech's jersey number. Hashtag Sox math. First correct answer wins a prize from the road. It's rare that right before Sox math you get all the answers, but c'est la vie. Fulmer, second base. Goodrum's over there. His turn is off the bag, and Adduci goes tumbling into the field at play. Tigers only get 1.
Goodrum had all kinds of time because this is a good solid throw from Fulmer, and yet he could not make the double play. So let's see if the Sox can pay for it. The throw is good. It's right there, and Goodrum gets upset on the slide because he's hanging around the bag. Watch it again. Hits the back leg. The throw goes awry, and I think Gardy wants to ask him about hitting the back leg on the slide, but apparently no harm, no foul.
One out, one on. Daniel Palka. Takes a called strike.
You'd have to think that Fulmer probably is not going to go much beyond 5 innings in tonight's game. He's at 52 pitches with 70 to 75 as the top of the limit for him.
0-1 to Daniel, who's hit it well here at Comerica Park as he takes ball 1. That's the subject of our random White Sox leaderboard tonight. It is highest batting average at Comerica Park, minimum 20 at bats. Carlos Lee, then D'Angelo Jimenez, Jeff Keppinger, Daniel Palka, Josh Paul, Ray Durham, Matt Davidson. Quite the list.
It is that. Daniel has an opportunity to increase his standing on that list. Most of the other guys, not so much.
Matt 2.
Yeah.
2-1. He loads up and hits it in the air, left field side. Mikey Matuk can't find it. Now he does locate it. And 2 down.
He put his hands up, indicating that he had no idea where the ball was. It's not quite nighttime yet. And because of the dusk, it becomes very difficult for the outfielders, and Matuk couldn't locate it. He has no idea where it is until finally locating the baseball. For him, a good break. One that I'm sure that Fulmer enjoyed also.
Shouldn't Nighthawks have good vision?
Well, they should, except if it's not night. Then it's Duskhawks.
Duskhawk?
Yeah.
2 down for Anderson. Who grounded out to third his first time. He pulls off that slider, 0-1. Oh, 1. Towering foul. 0-2. Tim wants to get to 20 home runs. That is one of his goals right now.
Yeah, I think he's able to get to there without a great deal of difficulty.
He got 17 right now.
And because he hits home runs to all fields, it's not quite as difficult for him as it would be. Next home run will be his career high. Last year he had 17 of them.
One, two. In the air, right field. Castellanos back, still going at the warning track. He makes the catch. A couple of close opportunities for the Sox in the outfield tonight, and they've gone as outs. Castellanos shed some of those letters in his name, making him more agile to make that catch.
For another season. Catch the return of High School Lights tonight at 11 on NBC Sports Chicago, or stream the show on the NBC Sports app. That's High School Lights, one of my favorite shows.
Could use that bottle of water right now. It's fourth inning ice cream time here in Detroit.
What do you have? Which one is it tonight?
You full well know I don't know what flavor this is. It's like some combination of rum raisin and butter pecan.
Well, if there's
butter
raisins
raisin
or pecans in it, then that's a tip-off. That is a clue. That would be the first clue.
Yeah, my sleuthing abilities when I'm eating are not good. 2-0 on a doozy. Now 2-1. Yeah, I still don't know what flavor this is, but
there you go.
I'll eat it.
But you'll eat anything. So
in a ballpark, you got to eat.
A major accomplishment.
You got to eat in a ballpark. That's the way you do baseball. You take in the game, you keep score, and you eat some good food, and you have some good conversation. That's what baseball is.
Really?
Yeah. You never eat.
Well, why don't you ask Jeff what kind of ice cream it is?
I tried. He doesn't know. He doesn't have any.
He's got no taste
buds.
Yeah, I know. They've gone a long time ago, but I just thought he would help you out.
Very nice. Yeah, your sense of smell's gone. Jeff's taste buds are gone. What a booth. 2-2 on a doozy. He checks his swing and he went around. Oh no, he didn't.
Gets the benefit of the doubt from Phil Cuzzy. Looked to me like that bat strayed a little bit too far through the zone. We'll take a look from the side.
Oh yeah.
It looked like it went around a little too far, but he gets to fight another battle.
That's ball 4. A leadoff walk for a doozy. We've talked about this jokingly in the past, but it would really behoove Major League Baseball to put a definition of a check swing in the rule book, to have some guidepost, because we're all looking at this saying, oh, I think it's a swing, or I don't think, but there's no rule to apply to it. Why is this hard? Like, why can't we have announcements of what replay decisions are and a definition of the swing? That's all I want for Christmas.
You get one or the other. You can't have both.
All right, so my question to our Twitter fans is, if you could have baseball Christmas right now, you just get one present, rules-wise, whatever it might be, what is your present that you want for baseball Christmas?
What if they have one that you haven't mentioned?
Great. We'll talk to Santa. Throw to first. Ducey is back. Or baseball Hanukkah, baseball Kwanzaa, whatever you want to celebrate. But if you had one baseball present, what would it be?
And then text you?
Yeah, tweet at us at Jason Benetti at Steve Stone.
To figure out then,
yeah, what would you want?
Which would we want afterward?
Yeah.
If there's a good choice.
All I want is a definition of the swing and replay decisions announced to us. That's all. And this chair.
Yeah, but then you'll want more. I mean, that's just typical stuff. I mean, you're asking for that now. Oh, yeah, it'd be all well and good for a bit. And then you'd want to get more things.
And all the children in the world coming together to sing Revenge on My Enemies. 0-1 to Goodrum. A Ducey at first. That's a strike. It's strike 2. Wow, the first 2 we got were automatic strike zone. The first 2 we got.
Yeah.
If you could have one baseball present, were automated strike zone.
I think you'd hate it.
You do?
After a while, yeah, I do.
You think people clamoring for the automatic strike zone would hate it? Why?
Because I believe that pitchers are good enough and a breaking ball breaks enough where you're not going to see too much hitting if you had an automatic strike zone.
It would be too big, you think?
I think that you could shave off a corner of the plate and the catcher would have to catch it a foot outside. Go try to hit that.
But isn't that then officially the strike zone?
It is.
Sanchez foul ground. And it's out of play. Yolmer says hi. Right, so you're in favor of the strike zone not being called as the book says it should be called.
Right.
Why?
Because then it's fair for both people.
But those are the rules, Steve.
Modified rules.
Another throw to first, this one high. You want things to be fair for the batter? You've never said that before.
Absolutely.
This is all new.
Fairness, well, my middle name is Fairness. You didn't know that, though.
It's Ferris. You mispronounced it. 0-2 inside.
Outfield straightaway, not overly deep, despite the fact that Goodrum has some pop. He's hit 13 home runs. What little wind there is blowing straight in from left center field tonight.
There's a swing and a miss, strike 3. Breaking ball downstairs. Goodrum dispatched. One away. Here's your Sox math answer for tonight. Jay Lazowski, 14, was first in, but he won yesterday, once a series. So 15 straight games with a home run plus 20 is Rondon's number. 35 divided by 1 homer for the Sox yesterday, minus 34. Kopech's jersey number 1 is your answer. Hashtag Reggie now trending on your screen. The winner for tonight's Sox math. Congratulations to hashtag Reggie. One out, first one. Strike to Mikey Matuk. First again. Adduci is back. Lopez paying a lot of attention to Jim Adduci.
Despite the fact he's only tried to swipe one base, he's been successful 1 out of 1.
Right field. Nicky can't make the play over the shoulder.
Yuan was streaking for the ball at the last instant. He gave way, and Nicky must have called for it and couldn't get to it. It looked like Moncada was going to get there. He's calling for it. He's normally very fast, and then Nicky called but couldn't get to the baseball.
So a reprieve for Mikey Matuk. Former first-round pick of the Rays 7 years ago. He gets around it to grounded foul. Mikey Matuk, originally drafted by the Marlins in 2008 out of high school in Lafayette, Louisiana. Did not sign, and then eventually his first ever major league game came against the Marlins. As he strikes out, Lopez takes care of him at 97. And 2 down here in the 4th.
Not much of a swing from Matuk this time, as he realizes it's got a chance to be a strike. Doesn't want to leave it in the hands of Adam Hammery, and so he swings a little tardy. And the end result is the same, a strikeout.
Brings up McCann, who was originally drafted by the Sox. 31st round, didn't sign, went to college. Just like Matuk, went to an SEC school. McCann to Arkansas.
Turned into a pretty good catcher.
That gets away past Narvaez. Adduci to second base.
That will be a wild pitch. It'll be the 5th wild pitch of the year. To go with 3 balks.
Good slider for strike 1.
Slider this inning has been good, and you're seeing the results of it. When the slider is good, the strikeouts will pile up, and the pitches are starting to pile up. We're here in the 4th inning at the 75 pitch mark.
So Lopez right now throws the slider 19% of the time. Eventually, where do you think that ends up?
A little over 25%.
Yeah.
Maybe a little higher, depending on how good he feels with it.
But you feel like he would need it to increase in order to get the effectiveness he wants?
He's going to have to do one of 2 things. That's going to be one of them. And the other might be to make the fastball move a bit more, because right now the velocity is great. I mean, he's 96 to 98 miles an hour. But the fastball has a tendency to be fairly straight because he's using a 4-seamer more than he's using a 2-seamer. So if he wants to get a little more movement on it, he'll go to the 2-seam, maybe spread his fingers, get some movement on that, get some swings and misses, and that will add to the strikeout total along with a harder slider.
To right field, twisting toward the corner, and this ball falls foul. 2-2. Time now for our Rocket Mortgage breakdown tonight, and it's the Sox pitching staff this month in the American League, top 4 in strikeouts. That's up from earlier this year. It's going to be tough to beat the Yankees with that bullpen they have in strikeouts for any month, although Mr. Chapman is out for a while.
Yeah, Chapman's got a knee problem, and so he's on the shelf. It's not going to help them at all, although they do have a lot of relievers and a lot of quality relievers.
Two way upstairs. 3-2 on McCann. We got a bird's eye view of that pitch.
That one came awfully close. If the inning stays alive, Reyes is in the immediate future.
Three and two. Crowds filled in here at Comerica Park. Three balls, two strikes. He struck him out downstairs on the slider. McCann can't peel away. He stands there to get tagged, and Lopez strikes out 3 in a row after the walk to send us to the 5th. Comes from Comerica Park. The mayor, Sean Casey, off the glove at third to Ozuna in left. Casey slams on the brakes. And that was a pretty bad decision because Pablo got him. So, your typical 5-7-3.
It'll happen on occasion.
Yeah. We did have a couple of years ago the old 9-3-2-6-2-5 triple play.
That was a delight. Not likely to see that anytime soon.
You wouldn't imagine so.
No.
Fulmer, by the way, for his career is at 7 strikeouts per 9 innings. And according to Baseball Reference, for guys who qualify for the leaderboard, number one in Tigers history in strikeouts per 9 is Max Scherzer at 9.6.
Okay.
Justin Verlander is number 2 at 8.5. And then Anibal Sanchez is number 3 at 8.3.
There was a long time when Sanchez just had great stuff.
Mickey Lolich number 5, Denny McLain number 10. Jeremy Bonderman on the list, 6th in strikeouts per 9. Two is chopped foul, so still 2 balls and 2 strikes on Delmonico, whose hit streak is 8 now. Nicky, since actually the 13th of this month, 11 days ago here in Detroit, has hit an 8 straight. Got him down and in. He knew it when he swung that it wasn't what he thought it was going to be. The changeup does in Delmonico. Hey, Sox fans, join us for Halfway to St. Patrick's Day, Saturday, September 8th, 6:10 p.m. as your Sox take on the Angels. First 10,000 fans, 21 and over, get a White Sox snapback hat presented by Goose Island Beer Company. Goose Island, Chicago's beer. Get your tickets today by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME. Wide of third and foul for Davidson.
Tigers fan up and going as Fulmer is at 67 pitches. Victor Alcantara loosening in the pen.
He goes by V or 5.
In a most unusual motion.
He was nasty when we were here last time. I mean, I was talking to a couple Sox hitters about him, and it is very difficult to see the ball against him.
Well, it hasn't been all that easy against Fulmer so far.
Strike 3, fastball elevated. 4th strikeout for Fulmer.
Fourth strikeout, the last 3 of the swinging variety, and the stuff has not diminished at all for Fulmer. But he's very close to the pitch allotment that they were looking at when this game started. So Gardy will probably allow him to get through this inning, and that will be it. Assuming he gets through this inning.
Omar is going up clubbing the first pitch. He swung in a big way to try to massacre each first pitch. What have we done with Omar Narvaez?
Well, he's running into a guy that has been waiting a long time for this start, and Michael Fulmer is making the most of it. That looping hit to center field that Polka led off the second inning with is the only hit of the ball game, and that one was in the glove briefly.
0-2 fouled off. Yeah, one of those days where if you're wondering how he's going to be off the DL, we got our sign very quickly.
He came out firing that first inning. 1-2-3 first. And he's trying to finish up a 1-2-3 fifth.
Boyd yesterday went 6 innings of scoreless baseball. Today Fulmer 4 2/3 scoreless. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Tigers are 4.5 ahead of the Sox right now in the Central for 3rd place. The Tigers team that looked pretty resilient early in the year, but it's caught up to them as Omar once again has gone full.
Regardless of what it starts out like, it goes eventually to 3-2.
Payoff. Up the middle and through. Base hit. That was a guillotine from Narvaez. A 2-out single.
Swung at a pitch out of the strike zone and almost took Fulmer's head off with it. He went down and got it, and so at the 77 pitch mark, Gardy figures that is enough. Normally that would end the inning with a pitch at that location, but not with Narvaez, who puts the bat on the ball, hits it hard, keeps the inning alive, and sends Fulmer away, so he cannot win this one, despite leaving with a 2-0 lead. So as the fans give Fulmer a standing ovation, we'll step out and be back after these messages. Side bank. It's about time. And we've got Victor Alcantara coming in the ball game on for the 16th time. He has no record. He does have a .250 ERA. He's only walked 4 in 18 innings. That's very good. Giving up 16 hits, fanned 13. And so for Fulmer, it was a very impressive outing off the DL. 4 2/3 innings, couple of hits. Yet to be determined if he picks up that run that is Omar Narvaez at first base. That has a lot to do with Adam Engel,
who struck out on 3 against Fulmer in the 3rd. There's that hitch in that delivery from Alcantara, who is quite the display in perseverance for an organization, not necessarily for him. In AAA last year, he walked 5.5 per 9. 5.5 per 9. In AA in 2016, 4.5 per 9. Rookie ball 2013, 5.5 per 9. And this year in AAA, he was one of the best at 1.2 walks per 9.
Hard to figure out how control suddenly comes to you, but apparently if you wait long enough, it will. At least in this case.
They said, we don't want to see you ever again if you can't throw strikes. So he started throwing strikes. And they've seen him. And for the Sox, sadly, they've seen him. So Fulmer will go unscathed, Narvaez stranded, and Layla will join us from the studio after this. We look forward to it, Layla. Thank you for the update. Sox are trailing 2-0 here. Reynaldo Lopez on the hill after a run allowed in the first and the third. He'll face Reyes, Candelario, and Iglesias in the fifth. So Victor Reyes, who has speed and has been a quality average hitter in the minors, but has never really had the power. It took him 1,398 minor league at-bats, 1,398, to hit his first home run. That was with the Kane County Cougars when he was with the Diamondbacks.
That's a lot of ABs to still be an A ball.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of ABs.
That's rookie ball. It's short season A. And that's why he ends up available in the Rule 5 draft, because he's been around long enough to be exposed without being on the 40-man roster.
Let's take a look at StatCast AI powered by AWS, and it is a blooping double. Exit velocity just under 58 miles per hour. And it didn't go very far. It went far enough, however.
One and two. Wanted to try and parachute that ball again and clipped it foul. One ball and two strikes. Lopez to Reyes. Reynaldo going to that high fastball, but that was what they call non-competitive.
Much higher than high.
Now that slider got away from him. 3-2. I got 6 full counts out of 18 batters tonight. Labor-intensive leadoff batter in the fifth.
Pitch number 90 on the way, and so it's not going to be a real long performance for Reynaldo tonight. He just liked to keep it at 2-zip.
.26 pitch third, over 20 in the fourth as well. Pitch number 11 of this sequence is swung on and missed for strike 3. The slider did get him to bite, and Lopez has struck out 4 in a row.
7 strikeouts overall, and here is the off-speed breaking ball, and he cannot check it out. Saw the tight spin on it, even though it wasn't one of his faster sliders, but it was effective.
Now Candelario, who's been a walk machine tonight. 2 walks, 1 run. Ball 1. Left field. Daniel Palka charging toward the line, and he is there for out number 2. Xfinity X1 customers say, show me the Chicago White Sox into your X1 voice remote and get live team stats on your TV. Change the way you experience TV with Xfinity X1. Yeah, the first pitch ball has been pretty prevalent for Lopez tonight. And if you were wondering, as this ball is lined to left, and we'll have to get there after, but there are some striking numbers between 0-1 versus 1-0 once again this year, and we'll detail them when we come back. Stone. I'm Jason Benetti. Thanks for joining us from the Motor City as the Tigers won game 1 and threatening to win game 2 here. But as we went to break, as the music played us off once again, we're starting to tell you that the 0-1 count versus the 1-0 count, you hear us talk about, and Steve especially, how important the first pitch strike is. Figured we'd tell you how important it actually is. League batting average this year on 1-0, after 1-0. So you take ball 1, later in the at bat, whatever you do, batting average is 264. After 0-1, it's 218. So 45 batting average points or so, which is a good amount. But then the on base percentage. After 1-0, 373. 0-1, 264. So more than 100 on base points. And then slugging percentage, 445 to 350.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a huge difference when you look at all the numbers all the way across. Want to keep the scoring down? Throw strike 1.
It really is that simple.
Yeah, it just sets up a defensive or an offensive at bat as Daniel Stump gets loosened up and ready to go.
One and two on the ground, and that's foul, called foul.
Well, Adduci was waiting on the line and trying to convince Ryan Blakeney that in fact the ball as well as him, they're both in fair territory. Well, he was, the ball wasn't, and he does not get the benefit of the call.
I like a player who really tries to sell something,
sure, even
and then
after the fact, yeah.
When he doesn't get his way, he smiles about it and lets you know that he was trying to cheat you a little bit. Goodrum at second, and Adduci does end up with the ball.
He got very lucky. It almost went through the glove, in which case it would have dropped out. He would have been safe, but he's going to make an adjustment to that glove because Goodrum almost threw it through the glove.
How that stuck is the question. How did that happen? Take a look.
Comes very close to going right through. It doesn't, but it comes close. See it on the stuck to the back of the glove.
His gloves become a trackball. Wow.
Yeah, we've seen that a few times.
That's outside for ball 1 to Moncada. That's the grand fun of baseball. You never know what quirky thing you're going to see at tonight or tomorrow's or Sunday afternoon's game. Second base, Goodrum to Adduci's glove. See, he doesn't believe in the glove right now.
Well, he also got one that was 1,000,000,000 miles an hour from right on his doorstep. I mean, Goodrum went to make the catch. He made it, and then he didn't realize how fast Moncada really is, because then he had to fire it across. I mean, this looked like a routine play, and all of a sudden, yikes. Adduci's going, wait a second, let me get some padding here if you're going to throw like that.
Whap.
Yeah, that's a good tester. If that one didn't go through the glove, it's not coming through.
Gonna walk out with a fishing net for the top of the 7th. That's what you get, the karma police, the baseball karma police, for trying to finagle that first out over at first base. Now they're messing with his glove.
There you go. That'll teach him. In the meantime, Alcantara, you're right. Deceptive with that motion, very deceptive.
Fly ball on the infield. Goodrum says, Jim, get away. We don't need any more of your glove. I got this puppy. 1, 2, 3 in the 6th. Players and alumni, December 9th, Sox on the beach with Apple Vacations. Stay 7 nights at the all-inclusive Iberostar Paraíso Lindo in beautiful Riviera Maya, Mexico. There's a private welcome party, an autograph session, food and drink, and special group activities with your White Sox hosts. What could be more fun than that? It'll be warm, you would imagine, or at least warmer than home on December 9th.
You would think so. It's going to be a nice trip.
You going?
I would like to, but
you have to recuse
with the
yourself.
off season and all.
That's a perfect way to spend your off season, I would say.
You would?
Yeah.
Well, then go.
I'll probably be in like State College, Pennsylvania at the time, but thank you for asking.
That's right. You're still doing some games.
Yeah. Dan Dockett is stuck with me.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. Ball and a strike on Castellanos.
In the meantime, this sets up as a pretty tough inning. It's right through the heart of the order. This is the 3rd time through, and if Lopez can get out of this one, turn it over to the offense, things could work out pretty good.
Yeah, Sox are into that bullpen of Detroit, and the Sox pen now is working with Xavier Cedeno, one of 3 remaining left-handers after the Luis Avilan deal. So Cedeno's Players Weekend name is X. Alcantara is V. So that's 15.
Yeah.
You got Avi, who's then A6.
Yeah, that's what that is.
Yeah, Roman numerals everywhere. Almost had 2 Avis. Luis Avilan was going to be Avi as well. He's gone. And by the way, the players had to choose their Players Weekend jersey names, from what I've been told, in spring training. And so the guy across the diamond from Avi, Daniel Polka, has DP on the back of his jersey. And there are other nicknames that he was mulling over that have come upon him this year that he likes a little bit more. As Lopez throws to first. But when he was picking in spring training, Daniel had no idea that he was going to at all be a phenomenon here in Chicago. He couldn't have imagined he was even going to be in Chicago. So he said, look, do I want to show up with some ridiculous nickname that somebody gave me from years ago if I'm only going to be here for like 2 weeks or whatever it might be? Because at the beginning of the year, you could imagine, if you're Daniel Polka, imagine yourself as a fill-in for an injury or something like that, that you wouldn't be here for months on end. So he went with something pretty basic to avoid the ribbing he would have gotten for a ridiculous nickname as the fill-in guy.
I don't think he believed it could have worked out as well as it's worked out this year. When you start in spring training, knowing that you're coming to a new organization, you're getting an opportunity, but you never really know what kind of opportunity you're going to get. You don't know the players here. You do know that there's a lot of young players and that they're rebuilding, but that's about what you know about the organization. So getting an opportunity to do what he's done and making the most of that opportunity is a wonderful thing for Daniel Polka. I can understand where he didn't want to, put whatever name he puts up there, thinking that, oh, this guy wants to show off, he's going to be there. Right. We're not going to see him until a week and a half before, and now all of a sudden he's showing up with his jersey. So DP will work out, especially with the kind of year he's had.
Yeah. As there's a strike to Victor Martinez, who first time up struck out looking after a couple of foul balls. He saw 7 pitches in that at bat. Victor, the ground ball here to first, and it's past Delmonico. Martinez is on as the ball clipped Ryan Blakeney, it looked like.
It got him, and he's saying that it took a turn and got him, and then it held up the baseball. It gets by and then hits him and bounds away, but it is, as you can see, a fair ball.
When the ball goes by the first infielder's position, then clips the umpire, it is no longer a dead ball.
The ball's in play.
Ryan takes the brunt of it. Ricky Renteria is back. And he says hello to Reynaldo Lopez. That's going to be E3 against Delmonico. Ricky checking on Lopez. He's done this before. He wants to see what he's got. He's going to leave him out there.
He just asked him if he thinks that he can get him, because he realizes that more so than any other pitcher, he thinks Reynaldo has the ability to go into the 1-teens in pitches without any fall off in stuff.
He hasn't thrown over 100 pitches since July the 14th, which is rather surprising considering how often he did that early in the year. 3 of his first 4 starts he hit 100 or more. Martinez at first. This one grounded right side. Delmonico gets one. Return pass a little bit late. If you had it the other way and Martinez was the hitter, you'd have had 2.
A good effort, a good solid throw, but they could not turn a pair. So the inning stays alive. Most difficult of all double plays. The 3-6-1, 3 people involved, the pitcher usually getting there a bit later, having to both identify the baseball and the bag at the same time. It's not an easy thing to do.
Two out, 1 on. Nico Goodrum, signed this year by the Tigers after spending his career mostly in the high minor leagues with Minnesota. And Goodrum stormed into this Tiger lineup and made people pay attention. Got in his kitchen that time. 0-1. Ground out to short, strikeout swinging. Goodrum's night so far. Pitch number 109. There was a chance of a stray shower at Comerica Park tonight. More than stray, a possibility tomorrow. There's a strike, a high changeup, and Goodrum says You want rain? We got rain.
There's a little rain.
One, 2. Line to left. We'll see if that's Lopez's final batter, although Mikey Matuk coming up has not seen the ball well against Reynaldo tonight. How long is the long game for Ricky Renteria? Back. And he will come out and make the pitching change. So Lopez tonight goes 5 2/3. He gives up only 4 hits, walks 3, strikes out 7, got a little extra rope, and couldn't make his way to that final out here in the 6th. So pitching change. Lopez departs. Ricky Renteria says thank you, and the Sox will try to stifle this rally when we come back.
He comes on, trying to get out of the 6th inning. On for the 17th time. He's 0-1. His ERA a touch above 5. There you look at the rest of the numbers. Left-handers have hurt him. But he's going to be facing Mikey Matuk, a right-hander.
Gomez has been a closer in his past. Career right-handers hit him less well than left-handers do. OPS about 100 points different, left hand versus right hand. So positive matchup here with Matuk. 2-0 Tigers. 1 in the first, 1 in the third, and that's all against Lopez, who will give up at most 2 earned runs tonight. There's been an error already in this inning, so anything against him will be unearned in this 6th. Matuk. Strike 1.
Very interested spectator. Took it almost through the 6th inning. Gave up only the 4 hits. Walked 7 tonight. Good night for strikeouts. He struck out 7, walked only 3. And he's left a couple of men on.
This was the rare middle ground start for Lopez. Typically he's at the extremes. He kind of found his way back to the middle tonight.
A little shaky early. The leadoff walk. In fact, he walked Candelario a couple of times, scoring the first time he walked him, leading off the ball game.
Gomez guns in a sinker, 1-2. Sox in the 7th inning will bring up Polka, Anderson, and Delmonico. 4, 5, and 6. One and 2 on the very upright Matuk, who strikes out. Gomez does close the door for Lopez. 2-0 after 6.
And it is the double by Daniel Polka. A nice attempt, but it goes for naught as Reyes cannot come up with it, and Polka hustles into second base. We get a new pitcher coming in the ball game. It is Daniel Stump. And he's been pretty good this year, although he prefers Donald apparently. 1-4 is ERA, a touch over 6. Lately he's been throwing it a whole lot better with 28 strikeouts in 28 2/3 innings. But the 16 walks will come back to haunt you.
He's one of 3 Stumps to ever play in Major League Baseball. There was Bill Stump in the 1910s playing for the Yankees, and George Stump, who actually ended his career with the White Sox back in 1936.
So he would be the 3rd Stump.
It's true. It's a tree of Stumps.
It's been a while, though, since one has inhabited a Major League uniform.
Yeah, since 1936. At that point, by the way, when George Stump was roaming the outfield very briefly for the White Sox to the tune of 6 for 22 that year in 1936.
Rooting for the U.S. in the Olympics, by the way. Yeah.
One of the Sox farm clubs was in Kansas City that year.
It's a good place for a farm club.
Yeah.
Good beef there.
Now also a Major League team.
Yeah, now.
Is there.
Well, sure, you say that now.
I do.
Yeah,
it's very
wasn't like
timely.
That before, though.
Nope. He's the only lefty Daniel Stump is in this Tigers pen. Last time we were here, they didn't have any lefties down there. Two. Got him on the corner. A dot to the edge. And Polka strikes out.
That was a perfect pitch, very much a pitcher's pitch, and sometimes you get that call, sometimes you don't. This time, Adam Hammery thought it was good enough, and it had a piece of the corner. That's just a perfect pitch, and there's not much. If you have a bat and you're standing up there, not much you can do. Except tell the ump you don't think it was a strike.
That feels like the right thing to do in that moment.
Not much you can do after that.
Here's Tim Anderson, who takes ball number 1. We've talked before about Tim Anderson's League of Leaders program that he and his wife Bria have founded together in order to help out some kids who have a little bit less in Chicagoland. And Tim's doing a very nice thing coming up soon. It's Cuts for Kids, August 31st, September 1st. 3951 South King Drive. Cuts for Kids, free haircuts and school supplies for 100 Chicago area kids. Sponsored by Tim and Bria's League of Leaders.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I assume you best call to find some way to get in line for that, because I like to think there'd be a whole lot of people down there.
You can find more information on whitesox.com and learn more about what Tim's doing, but a lot of players talk about being part of the community that they play in, and Tim is actively participating in Chicago and feels like this is his home for a long time. That was outside. Stump wanted it and didn't get it. Goodrum at second, handles it for out number 2. Hey, join the White Sox in honoring Chicago area police and fire departments. Thursday, August 30th, Police and Fire Night. First 10,000 fans get a Yolmer Sanchez celebration-themed T-shirt presented by UL. For more than a century, UL has been committed to fire safety. Learn more at ul.com/fire. Here's Yolmer, whose self-dousing has become one of the logos of 2018.
He does indeed keep it fun.
Non-stop. Strike 1 to Nicky, whose 8-game hit streak might be on the line right now, depending on what the Sox do in the final couple innings. Oh, 0-2. Struck him out. Bookend strikeouts in the 7th inning. Tigers still hold the shutout.
And it was before the game. Now you've got to practice if you want to get it right. This is at the Detroit Athletic Club, which is just across the street. So was this afternoon, and they went through it so they could get it just right.
A wedding overlooking Comerica Park.
That's exactly what it is. And they became our Miller Hold True moment in lieu of anything better to do.
Well, the hold true portion of that is now they've got to stay married forever and always. It's our Miller Hold True moment.
And that's it. Forever. Yeah, they're stuck.
Better and worse.
No.
Good times and in bad.
Forever.
1-0 to McCann. And now 1-1. We've been talking about these Players Weekend jerseys. Saw one that is worth sharing. Seth Lugo, there's Sparty.
There's one.
He doesn't have his Players Weekend jersey on.
It is for Players Weekend.
Buff Weekend for Sparty.
Sparty's a nice sized fellow.
Big dude.
Yeah.
Seth Lugo, who is celebrating the fact, I think it's his paternal grandfather was from Puerto Rico, and he's played on the Puerto Rican World Baseball Classic team. His Players Weekend jersey says Puerto Rican.
Okay.
He's 1/4 Puerto Rican. Puerto Rican. But the big winner, I think, is the relief pitcher Brad Boxberger this Players Weekend.
I liked his jersey.
You saw it?
Yes.
It's two emojis.
Yes.
It's a box and a hamburger.
I like that.
Which made me think we were talking about your Players Weekend jersey yesterday. Yours could just be a big boulder. Could be a stone.
Just Atlas.
You could be Atlas.
Could be. Yeah. Unfortunately, they did not have Players Weekends or weeks or days or anything else.
It was always Manager's Weekend when you played. Right?
Yeah, most likely Owner's Weekend.
By the way, it is catcher full count weekend too, because McCann has gone full all 3 times up so far tonight.
Yielding a couple of strikeouts swinging to this point.
Unlikely to catch on. Catcher full count weekend. He struck him out looking. Planted on the outside corner. He says zero chance to Adam Hammery. And he's right. He had 0 chance of getting on base.
Looked like it caught just a piece of the outside corner. Good late movement put it there. Omar did not yank the glove back, so he thought it had a piece of the plate. And most important thing is Adam Hammery thought it had a piece of the plate.
It's pretty underrated right now how difficult it is to hit major league pitching at this point. You got guys with 99 with sink, 102 with sink.
And you're not facing that starter the 3rd and 4th time normally. You might face him the 3rd time. You won't face him the 4th.
Oh, Moncada got caught in between the hops, and you could see it coming. It's a 1-out error putting Reyes on.
We'll watch it again. Yohan plays it off to the side. When you do that, you only have 1 chance if it sticks in the glove. If it doesn't stick in the glove, you have no chance. And playing it off to the side is not recommended, but some guys get in the habit of doing that. It is not a good habit to get into. And Yohan's been playing a pretty solid defensive second base recently. That was not an example of the last couple of weeks.
When he's considerate about his footwork and he makes the effort to get around the ball, he's been very good. Without that, there's a major drop-off.
Thiago Vieira loosening in the bullpen for our Sox. Looks like the Tigers pen also in action.
Joe Jimenez.
At times he is absolutely unhittable.
And there's Thiago. Jimenez this year the Tigers All-Star after last year in 24 games posting a 12.32 ERA. A reclamation year for Jimenez.
Well, it's been a nice year for him. 61 strikeouts, only 18 walks and 53 innings. So he's had a nice year for them.
Two-0. That's there. Upper reaches of the zone. 2-1. Candelario, who was born in the U.S. and moved to the Dominican Republic, has struck up a friendship with Johnny Cueto. They play together in the offseason.
Cueto's had a couple of injury-plagued years.
Genmar Gomez, who came in to mop up the sixth. Reyes is off. Throw into second is a one-hopper. Quick tag is not in time. And so Reyes turns the error essentially into a double.
Not a good throw. One hopper and in under the tag.
Number 8.
Yeah, picks up his 8th stolen base. But only once.
(3-1). Change up on 3 balls and a strike. 3-2. All right, so now what? You flash the change up. 3-1.
Throw another one here. I mean, he wasn't concerned about walking. I mean, he's got first base open. And he feels pretty good about that straight change. Not a bad idea to throw it again.
Three and two. Flip to left field. Polka can't get there. Candelario moves his hit streak to 7. Runners at the corners for Iglesias.
That appeared to be another straight change, but he stayed up with it, and there was no chance as he dumped it in front of Polka. High change. Out of the strike zone, but he was in full protection mode. Runners at the corners.
So Iglesias. .43% of his balls in play are ground balls. That's actually down from more than a half the last 2 years. So if you're talking about an inviting double play target, Jose Iglesias qualifies.
But he does run pretty well, so that precludes a lot of those double plays.
Go to third. Yeah, ideally he hits it hard right at somebody. Well, Iglesias, I don't think, recognized the spin right away.
Or he could be setting him up for later in the at-bat.
Could be.
Because that was an exaggerated move away from that curveball. And we'll see if he gets another one and what he does with it.
Slider upstairs.
He got his pitch to hit. It was right down the middle, and he fouled it straight back. So he knows that he let one get away.
Two strikes on Iglesias. Candelario at first, Reyes at third, and there's the throw on the Tigers' third baseman. Oh, and 2 on Iglesias. Chopper foul. Tigers got one in the first. The first 2 batters of this game for Detroit reached. And a double play eventually got Candelario home for Ron Gardenhire. And then in the third, Castellanos a 2-out base hit on a ball that missed its spot. Double the lead to 2-0 where we stand right now. Two strikes. Gomez trying to figure out how to get Iglesias out. Where do you go?
Well, he's going to make some contact. You just as soon throw it low and away.
There it was. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sox in the 8th will have Davidson, Narvaez, and Engel, hoping to have it at just 2-0 as Gomez wants the signs again. Genmar Gomez, who has joined the Sox from AAA for his 17th appearance. After 135 with the Phillies in 2015 and 16, including 1 year as Philadelphia's closer. Swing and a miss, strike 3. He got Iglesias to expand the zone, and 2 out.
That's a big strikeout and an unusual strikeout. It's a slider. It's not near a strike, and Iglesias did something he only does about once every 10 times, and that is go down on strikes.
That's swing mode right there.
He was looking for something in the zone, didn't get it, and didn't get any contact.
Ricky Renteria makes another trip to the mound to talk to Genmar Gomez, who will stay in the game. Ricky hasn't been around for a couple of days, dealing with some health issues. Is feeling lightheaded, got a battery of tests done. And we've seen him go out to the mound 3 times now. So Castellanos with runners at the corners, 2 out.
Off-speed breaking ball fouled off. Castellanos would be the last man in this lineup you want to face in this situation, but he's the one you're stuck with. Yeah, coming up next is No Day at the Beach, but that batting average these days for Victor is not quite what it normally is.
Castellanos with a line drive over shortstop. He's come up in huge spots in this game and provided all 3 runs. 1 on a double play. The last 2 have gotten him RBIs. And it's 3-0 Detroit. That will be the last act for Gomez in the game.
Just barely over the head of Tim Anderson, who went up a little early on this little line drive over his glove. As he was coming back down, this ball actually got over his head. Doubtful if he has one anyway. But Castellanos, their best clutch hitter, delivers.
Thiago Vieira comes in when we come back. $49.99. Watch every Auto Market regular season game, plus get a free subscription to MLB at Bat Premium. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv to take advantage of this special offer. Thiago Vieira came sprinting out of the bullpen.
Our Lakeside Bank call to the pen is the aforementioned Vieira. Thiago on for the 9th time. ERA a little above 7.5. There you look at the rest of the numbers. Control has not been great, but he does throw awfully hard.
He'll face Victor Martinez. Outside and low. If you had your druthers, where would you pitch Victor Martinez and what would you throw him nowadays?
I don't think there's one place you can pitch him. He's just too good a hitter. So if you fool him once in a spot, you better go to a different spot next time up. He's one of those guys who just have to change speeds. There is, and hasn't been, one way to get him out for a long time.
He turns on it, and Nicky's there to snare out number 3. Tigers do get a run, and we do take a trip around Major League Baseball after this. Evidently, Ronald Acuna is not terribly thrilled with the Miami Marlins because they tried to, maim him last time. So he took him deep. 7 home runs his last 7 games against the Marlins. And once again, chivalry wins out in Miami as Guerra hits him. So if you can't get him out, you might as well hit him with the pitch, is the thought, which is frankly fairly useless. And then the Braves decide that they want to go ahead and hit Brian Anderson. So there you go. The moral of the story is Ronald Acuna is very good. It's good to have great young players.
He's really good. And we got Joe Jimenez coming into this, who's been pretty good himself, on for the 58th time. 4.2 ERA, a little above 3.5. Lots of strikeouts, not a lot of walks, and left-handers have done nothing with him.
As a postscript there are 2 Javi Guerras pitching in Major League Baseball right now. There's one for the Padres and one for the Marlins. That was Javi Guerra for the Marlins that plunked Acuna. The other one not implicated. They'll both start getting Matt Duffy's mail soon. As the White Sox home run leaders, brought to you by BP. The BP home run leaders on the road. Matt Davidson has 15 of them, a good chunk of those in the fountains in Kansas City. Isn't it kind of interesting that the Marlins went back and hit Acuna again? After everything that happened.
Yeah, it didn't look to me like that one had intent.
Okay.
The one before, when they got him, that looked like it had some intent, but you never really know because things do get away on occasion.
Sometimes the cover-up is worse than the crime. So you don't have to answer this.
Yes.
But I'd like to ask anyway.
Sure.
Who was the player that you either played with or saw in your career who was best at hiding that he was throwing at somebody?
Well, the Cubs had a pitcher by the name of Rick Russell.
Yep.
That, to look at him, you would never think that he would throw anything even inside. But yeah, he was able to do that. He did it a lot. And yet he got away with it quite a bit. But he was one of those guys that didn't mind throwing inside because he was a sinker slider pitcher, had a very good sinker, so he used away to right-handers a lot, and he had to come in to protect the outside part of the plate, and he came in a lot. There's probably be the one guy.
There's a difference between There's a difference between throwing with intent to injure and throwing inside too.
You have to throw inside. It's a question of how far inside you go.
Oh my goodness! That one square hit.
They got a good piece of McCann, and didn't appear to touch any of the protective equipment. Ooh, got him just under the chin.
Oh.
That's not great.
No, it's just not. Loop to left field. Omar shortened up beautifully with 2 strikes and has himself a 1-out single. That second cut he took in the at-bat was trying to hit the ball 450 feet, and then there he slices it to left.
That's why that batting average is so good, because this one looked like either a splitter or a changeup away, and he stayed right with it and dumped it into left field. That's just a good piece of hitting. It's Omar now 2 for 3. That's just the 3rd hit of the night for the Sox.
Engel fouls it away. Adams seen 7 pitches, all strikes, and he struck out twice. 0-2 on Engel. Now 1-2. I have a question for you. It's a Twitter question.
Sure.
Should we take the high road or not?
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay. So Mr. Cheese tweets in, hate to be that guy, but Javi Guerra did not hit Acuna. It was Jose Urena.
The first time he did.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, first time.
It was Urena, and then it was Guerra. As Engel bloops it to center field, and down the deke won't work. Narvaez to second base, 2 on, 1 out.
Reyes felt like if he put his glove up, maybe Narvaez wouldn't go to third. Well, the thing is, he's not going to third anyway. But it was a good deke. There it is. I'm going to catch this. Probably not, but.
You know, if you watch enough baseball, you see a center fielder put the glove up like that, you know it's going to be a hit.
Because they never do that when they're going to catch the ball.
If he can catch the ball, he's not going to deke you with the glove up that soon. Here's Sanchez. It's like the quarterback in football who's 6 yards in front of the line of scrimmage and pump fakes, and the cornerback jumps. Like, what?
Well, that can happen. You never know when he's going to throw it over your head, which is illegal anyway.
That's called a strike. 1-1. Yolmer discussing the location with our plate umpire Adam Hammery.
Well, Yolmer knows that it was well off the plate. And I think when Adam sees that one again, if he does want to look at it, he'll realize it was off the plate also.
On the corner, that one was a strike. 1-2. Tying run at the plate. 3-0 Tigers, top of the 8th. So that's his 1-2 pitch. What's the setup there, if there is one?
I think he was trying to get him out with that one, but I would think he'd go back to that slider. It's up to McCann, quite obviously.
Time called by Yolmer.
Jace Fry is loosening in the Sox pen.
Two. Downstairs, 3 balls, 2 strikes.
There's Jace.
What kind of game will he enter? 3-2, 2 on, 1 out. Jimenez to Sanchez. And McCann wanted to catch it. He couldn't. Still 3-2. Pitch number 7. Upstairs, check swing, ball 4. Loaded the bases. Jimenez did. Yoan Moncada, the batter, and Rick Anderson out of the dugout to go talk to his pitcher.
2 base hits and a walk have loaded them up. That makes Yolmer the tying run at first base. And a chance for Yuan to do some damage.
Well, Moncada, you remember, had that game winner in Cincinnati. That was back on July the 4th. And you felt like at that point he might be turning it on. That was his last multi-RBI game. That extra inning hit in Cincinnati.
With the bases loaded this year, he's been awfully good. 455.
Huge spot here.
And the Tigers pen continues to work.
Inside, ball 1. Bases loaded, 1 out. That's ball 2. Couple of inside fastballs. 2-0 on Yuan. Fastball hit well, right field. Castellanos at the wall. It is off the fence. 1 run's in, Angle follows, and it's 3-2. Moncada drills it off the wall in right field. A fastball that found its way over the plate, and it's a 1-run game.
Moncada's driven in 49 of them. Jimenez having all kinds of problems as he lays a 2-0 fastball right there. Castellanos does a nice job of playing it off the wall. But no chance to get to the baseball.
That was a very leaky fastball. He missed on the 2-in. And Moncada once again pays off a bases loaded situation.
And here comes Ron Gardner. He's going to go to the pen. That's going to be it for Jimenez, who's going to leave this one with the game on the bases in a 1-run lead. And things started to go south here in the 8th inning. So Green coming in, he is the closer of this team. And as he comes in, we'll step out and be back after these messages. Is the closer. Shane Green coming on for the 54th time. He's 2-5. His ERA at 3.78. And save opportunities 27 for 30. this is a long way to go if he is in fact being called on to nail it down. It'd be a 5-out save. Inheriting runners at second and third. It's a 1-run game. And the heart of the order to face him.
Most outs Shane Green's gotten in any game this year is 4. He's gone at most an inning and a third. So we'll see if he is the guy for 5 outs tonight. 2 on, 1 down, and Avi. To right field on a line, and this will tie the ball game. Avi Garcia against his former team makes it 3-all. First pitch swinging.
First time Avi's had it out of the infield, drives in his 31st run of the year and ties the game at 3. With runners at the corners and only 1 out for Daniel Polka. Inside out swing, inside fastball, taken to right field.
So now it's up to Polka to get at least that runner at third home with a fly ball. Ball 1. Moncada at third, Garcia at first. Daniel rips it to right field, and the Sox will take the lead as this goes tumbling downhill all the way to the wall. A ground level Polk smash, and it's 4-3 Sox.
That one got by Adduci so quickly he didn't have a chance to put the glove up. That ball was in right field seemingly as soon as it left the bat. This is just a rocket. Right down the middle, looked like a slider. Daniel just crushes it. Before Adduci had a chance, it's by him into right field. And for the first time, the Sox have taken the lead. Runners at second and third. And the Sox on top by a run.
Daniel Polka this year has made the right field side of AL Central ballparks look like the streets of San Francisco. You roll a ball slowly down one of those streets and it ends up like 50 blocks away.
Well, he gets a base hit almost without exception. It rolls to the wall as Ryan Lamar comes on to pinch run. Undoubtedly will come on to play left field. Infield in at all 4 positions with a chance for Tim to put a little more daylight between our Sox and the Tigers.
Off the bat, 110.8 for Polka.
It just rocketed by Adduci with 0 chance.
Sox had 2 hits before this inning. Sox have 5 hits in this inning. Tim lifts it to right field and deep. Castellanos back at the warning track, and that's off the base of the wall. Avi scores. Lamar follows him. It's a 2-run double for Tim Anderson, and the Sox have set fire to the 8th inning.
This one on the outer third, and Tim thought it was gone. It almost left the park, but stayed in. Castellanos can't get to it. The ball gets trapped under the wall, and the run parade continues. A 6-run 8th inning.
Can the Tigers find a pitcher who can get an out? Yolmer doesn't think so. Tim doesn't think so. Darryl doesn't think so. Let's see. Batter number 9 of the 8th inning for the Sox, who have been prone to sticks of dynamite offensively recently. The inning continues, and Nicky takes a high strike one from Alex Wilson.
Wilson coming in to try to stem the tide. It's our Lakeside Bank call to the pen. He's on for the 47th time. ERA just under 4.
Three singles, 3 doubles, a walk, and a strikeout. The inning so far for the Sox. 2 strikes on Delmonico. So the Sox have vanquished both the setup man and the closer in this inning for the Tigers. And it's now up to the Sox bullpen to put this game away. Struck him out on a breaking ball away. And 2 down here in the 8th. So here's Davidson trying to add on. Batter number 10. After a strikeout the first time he came up in the inning, Davidson facing Wilson, who he's 2 for 4 against. Well, that's a good look.
That looks like another one where the family helped the design process.
Jet, Rosie, and Whalen helping Dad. Brixton and Wake helping Matt Davidson. It's the battle of the coloring book spikes. Who did it better, the Davidsons or the Wilsons? Nobody ever said you had to color between the lines on Players Weekend. Willie and Maddie
going head to head.
Timmy. One, two. Check swing. No. Sox were down to start this inning 3-0 after the Tigers scored in the first, third, and seventh, but all Sox in the top of the eighth.
And Narvaez really started it out.
Omar's base hit catalyzed the rally. That'll do it. But 6 runs and a lead of 6-3 to the bottom of the eighth. Couple of Luises with big games for Omar's Dash down there in Winston-Salem, and the Sox have a defensive replacement and a new pitcher.
Jace Fry coming in the ball game on for the 46th time. He's 1-2. His ERA touch over 4. Ryan Lamar takes over, and he's going to play left field.
And the Tigers are going to pinch hit.
They're going to pinch hit Ronnie Rodriguez. Ronnie Rodriguez coming out. He started the ball game last night. Had a home run, a double, and a couple driven in, so it was a good night for Rodriguez.
Ducey finishes 0 for 2 with a walk. Fry goes lefty righty, and he throws that breaking ball for a strike. That's been patented for Jace Fry this year, changing counts in his favor with that first pitch breaking stuff. Now 0-2 as he cuts it inside on Rodriguez. Wide of third, that's foul. Sanchez with his never-ending battery still tries to chase it down. Oh, 0-2, Fry to Rodriguez. He struck him out. Fastball to the corner for strike 3, 1 gone.
Jace has been throwing it pretty well, and he throws this one by him. So Goodrum will turn around and hit from the right side for the first time.
He takes a called strike. Jace is all over the plate right now, and he wants to be.
His curve is a good one.
Nico Goodrum, who grew up a shortstop and was a shortstop in the Twins system, but Jorge Polanco was coming up at the same time as Goodrum, so Polanco bumped him off as shortstop, and eventually he had to learn how to play third base and second base, and he's turned into a second baseman with these Tigers. Two one. Chase said in the clubhouse before the game, he said, I'm going to come in and throw 100 miles an hour. I got 2 days off. He never has 2 days off. Wrap to third. Sanchez, low hop in the throw for out number 2. Hey, Sox fans, you win with Papa John's Pizza all season long. The day after the Sox win, you get 50% off your entire online order of regular menu-priced items only at papajohns.com when you use promo code SOXWIN, valid at participating Papa John's locations. Two out for Mikey Matuk, who is terribly happy to see a left-handed pitcher after striking out 3 times against Sox righties. Thiago Vieira is in line for his first major league win, by the way.
3-run lead, 4 outs to go. Juan Minaya now loosening in the pen.
Looks like Minaya will be the Sox closer of the moment. Second base, Moncada can't get there. 3-1 hit for Mikey Matuk. I think Moncada thought at some point that he was going to make that play.
I don't think the timing was great on the leap. And the ball just barely eluded him.
Hook for a strike. McCann 0 for 3, 3 strikeouts. So Matuk and McCann were 0 for 6 with 6 punches. As there is Minaya with Kurt Hassler watching over him. Omar with a block that time, 2-1 on McCann, who's just 1 for his last 14, James McCann. Over shortstop into left. Tying run will come up for the Tigers in this 8th. And it's Reyes who bats. That final out of the 8th is proving to be slippery. Jace got behind in the count on Matuk at 3-1, gave up the hit. McCann moved it to 2-1. He singles, and now Reyes. Who is a much better hitter inside than outside. Takes a strike. Matuk at second, McCann at first. Now 0-2, so Fry quickly ahead. Left-hander out of the state of Oregon, Jace Fry. Trying to do away with Reyes. 0-2. Well, I have to do it again.
Just barely able to stay alive. This came an eyelash from going down on strikes, but got just the smallest piece of the baseball.
0-2 one more time. In the dirt. He struck him out 95 inside. Fry evacuates us from this 8th inning, and the Sox keep the lead 6-3. It's brought to you by T-Mobile. Yoan Moncada, bases loaded, crushes one. Palka drills a ball to right field. Tim Anderson, double city. Sox with a 6-run inning on 6 hits. And once again, big innings for the Sox. Last Friday, and then Sunday, and then Wednesday, and tonight. At least 5 runs in all 4 of those innings. And this is all in a week for the Sox. So the calendar can stay right where it is, as Detroit will dip into the bullpen once again for the 6th reliever, trying to get the Sox out in this game. And it is Buck Farmer.
And Buck Farmer comes on for the 55th time. ERA of 4.5. A 3-4 record. There you look at the rest of the numbers. A few too many walks in 57 innings, 32 of them. But left-handers have done nothing with him.
Omar leads it off. He is a left-hander. He is 2 for 3. And his hit in the 8th inning was the first of 6 in the 8th. Strike one. Ronnie Rodriguez remains in the game over at first after pinch hitting for Jim Adducci in the bottom of the 8th. Two strikes, Farmer to Narvaez. Omar plops it into a seat. Still 0-2. Sox are trying to make it now a 4-10 record against the Tigers this year after Detroit won yesterday in the opener by the count of 7-2. When you're missing Jose Abreu against Detroit, you're not in good shape because he's been slugging nearly .600 for his career against the Tigers. Strike three, Omar down to a knee, and McCann the tag. Tomorrow's game 5:10 Central Time. Hope you can make your plans to join us. Giolito and Carpenter.
Lucas trying to get to double figures in wins.
Ryan Carpenter, just his 5th start of the year coming up. 18 innings, 25 hits, 7 home runs in 18 innings.
But he's scattered.
7 souvenirs for 7 fans.
That's a lot of home runs in 18 innings.
Man.
That's coming from a man that gave up a lot of home runs.
Sox still have not homered in this game, Steve, after 15 in a row with a home run. Longest streak since 2012 in jeopardy. We talked about this a little bit the last time the Sox were in town, but Todd Steverson is using some old video to try to get Adam Engel to put the finishing touches on his swing where he wants to see them, including Dave Winfield as a guy who Adam's trying to emulate now through Todd Steverson. Adam to left field on a line and playable for Mikey Matuk.
Well, something's working for him because he's swinging the bat a whole lot better. I mean, he's making consistent contact now. That was right at Matuk. Could have easily been his 2nd hit of the night. It was not, so he will undoubtedly end this one 1 for 4.
Two out for Sanchez. That was a changeup, and it didn't get exactly a home run cut. High fastball, 0-2. Sanchez came in with a hit in 11 of his last 12 games, but he's 0 for 3 in this one with a walk and a run scored in that 8th. 2 strikes. Buck Farmer, George Rooney Farmer. That's why George on his jersey. He locked him up and didn't get strike three. Sanchez stays alive. So George Rooney Farmer has the same initials as Guaranteed Rate Field.
You're right about that.
And we're on a time. So 1-2-3, 9th inning. Play the music.
Coverage begins tomorrow at 4:30. You can also stream the game on the NBC Sports app.
Jace Fry stays on. He'll face Candelario. Iglesias and Castellanos right-handers will come up after, so we'll see if Ricky Renteria decides to play closer by matchup or not. That's strike one on the curveball. 6 runs in the 8th for the Sox tonight. Trying to split the first 2 against the Tigers. One. Sanchez has the out, 1 gone in this 9th. And here comes Ricky. So an inning and a third, 2 hits, 2 strikeouts for Fry. Juan Minaya was loosening. 6-3 your score. We're going to step aside as the Sox make a pitching change. One last warm-up for Minaya. We'll get you his numbers. Steve will have them when we come back.
Juan Minaya, who comes on to get a couple of outs, on for the 37th time. There you look at the numbers. ERA below 4. It's been sinking recently. Left-handers have done nothing with him. That's because of that good split. And he's got Iglesias and Castellanos to get by and try to nail this one down.
All it takes is 2 outs. Iglesias first, Castellanos after. Sox are trying to spoil Spartan night here. Sparty was here walking the concourse, and would be great revenge for Scott Merkin if on Michigan State night the Sox came in and ruined the night of the Tigers. 0-1, Minaya to Iglesias. High into the sky, back of home, and a souvenir. Juan Minaya, who struck out 6 the other day in Minneapolis, would love one right here. 1-2. Oh, he jammed him big time, up and in, and there's out number 2.
Let's take a look at the Sox upcoming schedule, and it's 2 more here after tonight's game, and then it's on to New York for the finale of this road trip. Second stop, and 3 with the powerful Yankees.
Real powerful Yankees, who you're going to be shocked by this, but they're about to beat the Orioles tonight.
With 3 in the 10th?
Yeah, although Chris Davis just homered for the Orioles. It's 7-5 in the 10th. Ball 1 to Castellanos. Yankees came in 9.5 back of Boston in the East, but still a wild card team pretty firmly.
You would think that would be their lot this year. They've got enough talent to certainly get there. And eventually Chapman is going to be healthy, and then that bullpen will get entirely healthy.
Castellanos on the ground, foul of third. He's come up in just about every major spot tonight for the Tigers and come through for the most part.
Had the 2 big base hits coming in the 3rd and the 7th. But the Sox came back with a 6-run 8th. It's been the year of the big inning. And against our Sox, Castellanos has been murdered.
One strike to go. 6 runs in the 8th tonight. 1-2. He struck him out. Minaya closes the door. The Sox win game 2 in Detroit.
One of those nights where it looked bleak. The offense did nothing, and then the 8th inning came around, and it was the bullpen's turn to pick up the ball club. They were able to do that.
Minaya, Fry, Vieira, and Gomez in a game that lasted 3 hours 28 minutes. The Sox will take all 6 in the 8th and run away. So a 6-run, 6-hit 8th inning. Narvaez and Engel and Moncada and Garcia